talking about North Floridians ruining shit.
How? The whole state voted for them, bitch.
The whole state didn't vote.
They did it twice.
Yeah,
they gave it to that man twice.
They did it twice, bro. Oh, God. All right, well, moving on.
Florida's a confusing state, though.
Yes, it is.
Because they voted for Obama twice and Trump twice. Ain't that some shit?
When you think about it, it probably
crazy,
makes the most sense.
No, that don't really make no fucking sense.
When you think about it, it actually probably makes the most sense.
If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Logan, and this is the Milk and Toast Podcast. I'm here with my best friend, Mitch. Say hi to the people, Mitch.
Hello.
All right. I hate when he says it normal. Like, it just like fucking throws me off. We're just talking about Florida and Ron DeSantis and all the fuck shit that's going on down there.
Dude, man.
Yeah, fuck him. Anyways, before we start the show, as always, if you like the show, share the show. If you hate the show, share the show with your enemies. Just annoy them. Like, if you have that one neighbor, Brenda, who won't stop playing her music over and over and over at like 4 a.m, and knowing everybody got to go to goddamn work in the morning, just airdrop the show right into her phone. Like, you could just airdrop that shit right into her speakers, and then at that point, at least you both would be listening to something you hate, so you kind of got her back. Anyways, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, or whatever else. Yo, Mitch, I had an idea.
What's the idea?
So, you are such a good B mic, because look, I said, just like alley-oop, like right there. I had an idea.
Don't ever call me B mic again.
You are a B mic, though.
I'm A mic.
You can't be A mic. I'm A mic.
I'm Michael 1 then.
No, I'm sorry, man. It's okay. You're a good B mic.
Okay, so mic 1 is ready for use and service.
Anyways, why you got me so hurt?
Anyways,
we all love. It's all love here. Anyways, no, I had a good idea. Is that not if you want to, if you are a fan of this show and you like listening to me, Mitch, Claire, Sarah, or whoever else we have on this show. Listen, whoever else is a part of the Milk and Toast universe, you too can become part of the Milk and Toast universe, because we are inventing something that we're not really inventing, but like we came up with something called the Milk and Toast Lounge, which is a Milk and Toast group chat that you can talk to us throughout the week, and you can share memes or whatever else in the group chat. Mitch's eyes are huge as fuck.
I forgot about this.
Yes, you did. That's okay. Now you get to talk to all of our humble fans. So like, there's so many people that like the show. There's people that like the show, and like they come into contact with us, and they love to tell me how much they like the show. But some of the times they want to be on the show too. But like, I don't know. I feel like this is a great way to interact with the show, and then maybe even figure out if one of you could be on the show one day. So
nice.
Yeah. So what I suggest you do is reach out to us either on our Instagram or our Facebook, DM us directly, and I will add you to our new group chat for fans. Okay. Anyways, how you doing, Mitch?
Promote that,
huh?
So we definitely got to promote that.
I'll probably promote it before the show comes out.
Yeah,
to be honest,
I'm doing okay. Like, job cut my hours, so I'm actually not good.
Shit.
But working, school's almost over for the semester's almost over, so less stressed. I had a job interview. I hope I get the job.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, is it my job cut my hours too, and I had to that was why I was arguing with my that's why I was arguing.
Yeah, I remember that.
With
yeah,
my
I was
boss.
there.
Yeah,
I was
so
there.
I could
He
get my
banged
hours
his
back.
fist like he was Kingpin some shit.
Yeah, that's
Listen
weird.
here, Smythe.
Yes, it's fucking Smythe.
If you don't have my money, you said you could have it fixed, and it is not fixed.
Wasn't Smythe like trying to kill him in the beginning, and then like he just
Kingpin killed his father, but like made it seem as if Spider-Man did it. I think if I remember in the 90s animated series, that's how it happened.
Yeah.
And so he just kept using Smythe to like build shit from. The voice actor for that had a very I can't even do the voice right because it was so weird. But it was
For
also so
Kingpin?
menacing. Yeah, the Kingpin from the animated series.
He sounded like so like rich and like he was like like it was like weird. Like he was like totally evil, but like you believed it. Like you're like, yo, this dude better
Shout out to
to
voice actors. I don't remember what your name was because you know I don't look at my
this
shit
is
as
a
I should.
show that does no research.
Yeah, but shout out to that voice actor from the '90s animated Spider-Man film by Avi Arad because like you killed that shit.
Oh yeah, that was
You
the
killed
best.
the fuck out of that shit.
Let's get into some shit.
Fine.
You want to talk about Johnny Depp or Elon Musk?
Wow. I guess let's start with Depp.
Yeah. Yes. Actually.
You want to know? I haven't been really looking into the case just because, you know, there's so much information I don't know about their relationship. You know, there's so much going on between them. Mind you, I'm not even saying like, well, now we know like she was really, really problematic, obviously, but I don't know what was happening between them in the relationship. So I'm not going to pretend like Johnny didn't per se do anything that made her act like this, although it's looking as if he didn't do as much as people thought he did to make her act like this.
Right.
But in any case, it's not even to talk about the case and be like, yeah, Johnny, although good for him. And obviously she needs help. It's just like there was a recording that they played that was evidence for the case. And it just had me so like, damn, bro, the patriarchy really just fucks us all up. Because this woman is talking to Johnny Depp. And literally in the recording, we just have this live evidence because they started recording their fights and arguments or whatever. And she's like, yeah, Johnny, go ahead and tell them. Go ahead and tell the public that you, a man, are being physically abused and see who believes you. And I was just like, damn. And it isn't the fact that it's happening between the two of them. It's the fact that like, she's not the only woman or even the only man that thinks that way. And that's the part that really hurts. That's the part that's really like, oh my God, we've built our, and that's why I wanted to speak about it. Cause it's like, and that's why I say the patriarchy really just fucks us all up. Because we've built ourselves now into this space where men don't feel comfortable coming out about certain things in terms, cause if you were to be like, hey, yo, my girlfriend's abusing me, you all of a sudden feel emasculated. And that's what I was telling you earlier. All of a sudden you are emasculated. You are less than. When all you're doing is trying to seek help, find protection as anyone is entitled to. You know what I'm saying? But it's so ingrained into us both. And that's what sucks. Men and women. Because this is, she herself is a woman, and we know women deal with domestic abuse and sexual violence leaps and bounds beyond us as men, and we're not going to pretend about that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not that there isn't hurt going around amongst men who aren't speaking up because of the emasculation, but nonetheless, like, you know, women experience that at a far greater scale than us. And now here is a woman who you would think on some level would understand that, and rather than looking at her actions and seeing, you know, the pain she's causing, she was emboldened by the fact. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look how fucked up the patriarchy has us. Emboldened by the fact that she would, in this man's face, how you gonna be mid-conversation and just like, ain't nobody gonna believe your bitch ass. Ain't nobody gonna believe your bitch ass. I'm gonna smack you in the face. Who gonna believe you? Who gonna believe you? Fight back. Fight back. Bro, for real, not to make it a joke, but like, you know, she said that to him. And it was like, wow, how could you say that to him knowing how wrong? I know you heard that escape your lips. I know Amber Heard, and I speak directly to you. I know you let that shit out your mouth and then had to immediately in your head be like, oh my God.
Nah, she didn't do that.
Oh, well, you know, people don't think so, but I think she did, because I like to think that people like to lie to themselves. But you know you lying. You know you lying.
I don't know. She said, "Oh my God." I think she said, "Yeah, I'm roasting him right
Well,
now." Like,
no. I mean,
like
that's
she was like, "I'm cooking him." Like this argument is done. So
yeah, say something else. I didn't think so. Mic drop.
Yes,
but you know, it's just like, wow. I know you had to say that out loud and be like, wow. Fuck. Afterwards, you had to take a quick second. Your dark side sitting in the corner of your brain, like, but the little angel in you was just like, Wow. It was like how Obi-Wan felt when Anakin was like, you know, I could use the dark side to, you know, revitalize Jedi. And he was like, then truly you are lost. I know that Angel in her brain was just like, damn. God, I done lost one again. I don't even know why you keep sending me down here for some of these missions. Cause like,
like, oh,
I don't know why. I don't know.
Cocky.
Yeah, bro. I don't even know why it hits me because I'm not the type to be like, oh yeah, see, men can hurt too, bro. Because that's not the fucking point. It's just that it's the fact. Maybe it was in a court, and you know, a lot of the time we're dealing with he say she say shit in situations like this. But now we have the evidence, and like you really said that.
You know, the thing about the Johnny Depp thing is that it's been going on for a while, and
too long, right? Yeah, which is another conversation on how horrible our judicial system is. But anyway,
a lot of, you know, I hate the news too, because like a lot of old news gets like regurgitated as new news, and a lot of like this shit that like Amber Heard like shitting on Johnny's bed for like one example, like that has been brought up like so many different times. I get that like people don't always hear information, but like that's not new information. That's like old information. You know what I mean? Like that is something I remember like being talked about. I remember Johnny like having the phone call where like Amber's like, I didn't punch you, I hit you, you know, like dumb shit like that. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of this stuff is like, I know it's like shocking to like people who haven't heard of it. Like I even brought it up on the podcast before. Like I had an argument with Claire about it before, where I'm like, yeah, nah, she was fucking him up. You know what I mean? Like, you know,
we were like, it's two sides to it, and now it's just like,
nah, she was fucking
like,
him up. You know what I mean?
I was like that too. I was like, there's two sides to this. You know, I like Johnny, but I'm not trying to pick a side. I want to know what happened.
As somebody who's had somebody fuck up their bed before, ain't no two sides to somebody shitting on your bed.
Yeah, Logan. Oh, Logan, you need to let that go.
One-way street.
You let it go. You let it go that year. So I don't know why you keep bringing that shit up. You literally let that shit go.
I like to hang my victories on the wall. Like I like to do that. I like to bring them up. Things like I've never really lost, but like if I lost, I don't think I would ever put that up for display. But like I like to talk about the times I win, you know? Like
anyway, moving on from Logan and his ego that needs attention. But
my ego does need attention. I'm not gonna lie. I do.
You and like half I lied. Like you and like 75 to 80 fucking 90% of the men in this fucking planet who can't fucking man the fuck up and be actual men.
You need you need an ego stroking too. Don't even.
No, actually,
you don't.
Logan, you want to know why it hurts so much for me sometimes? It's because growing up, how I was being raised and the things that were inspiring me was making me the kid who was like, nah, I don't want to be like that. So I was like, I'm not going to do the ego stroking. And then I got older and was like, shit, well, ego's still a part of me. So I need to learn to like live in that and enjoy that because it affects you. And I'm not going to get into that. We're here to talk about men feeling emasculated and why they don't speak up on certain things.
This is a part of it.
Well, not really, but I can talk about that later.
It kind of is. No, I think so. I think like the fact that like what am I trying to say? Like men's egos, like being on that topic, right?
Well, that plays a part into the emasculation.
That plays a big part into whether or not like there is an ego bruising that comes with, you know, being emasculated and being like, you know, if I tell people that my girlfriend, my wife is beating me or abusing me, that like, you know, I have to deal with the fact that they might not believe me because it is my girlfriend or my wife. You know what I mean? Like I might not be believed, and through that not being believed, I have to deal with other men like basically downing me because of that. Like, you know, like looking at me as a lesser man than them.
How you couldn't even deal with a woman.
Putting me in a position because of them when I probably just don't like, I don't believe in like, you know, being defensive in that way, or like, or maybe there was truly nothing I could do. You know what I mean? Like if somebody threw a bottle from halfway across the room and it hit you in the head, like what the fuck are you supposed to do with that? You know what I mean? You didn't see that shit. So it's like, you know, like you tell somebody about that and then they like, well, you know, you should watch out next time. It's like, what the fuck, you know? Like you can't that's a lot to go through if you're like going through like abuse and then you can't talk about it. You know what I mean? I get that. You know, and that's why I say, you know, like everybody has an ego. Like when I say that, like, you know, I know I'm messing with you, but like the fact that you have an ego means that there's a part of you that needs to be taken care of regardless. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
it is the I part, which is why I'm saying it's not a problem. And I had to learn that myself because it's going to be there regardless.
Mm-hmm.
We have egos. We recognize ourselves as I. That's what it is.
How do you take care of your ego?
Me? Well, as I grew, so like I was saying, so let me tell the full truth. As a kid, I wasn't the type to try and stroke my ego because I was so like, I don't want to be that the you know typical egotistical idiot running around like a man. I wanted to be better than that because I'm smarter than that and all that bullshit. So I like, and it wasn't so much like pretended, but as a kid, I was like, let me go out of the way to try and make sure I do things that isn't just for like my personal gain and stuff like that, which on one side is good, but then you get older and you see how people can take advantage of you, how people some level don't even recognize you as truly like being you. They don't know what that's like because, you know, you're sitting here trying not to do things that could benefit you because you're like, I don't want to look a certain type of way.
Right.
So as I got older, especially now I'm just like, yeah, I got an ego. I ain't even ashamed about it. Like, I'm about me. I'm best believe that Mitchell is about him, especially in this life now, because I've been through so much, dealing with so much pain, dealing with so much imposter syndrome. You know what I mean, bro? Because we all kind of sort of go through that. Like, I don't deserve this. Like, who the fuck am I? And it's like, actually, we should all be in a state of, I'm fucking sacred. I'm great. Like I said, you know, podcast before, life is sacred. We should all be like, we're great people and live to the best that we can. It's just we live in a society that can be so toxic. We don't know what that actually looks like. You know what I mean? Is
there any type of future? Do you think like after this Johnny Depp thing, there's a future in which men can like, in a healthy way, talk about, you know, situations in which they've been abused by their partners, whether it be, you know, who suffers a lot that I remember reading about sometimes is that like even men in like gay relationships like suffer a lot of domestic abuse and can't really talk about it because of the fact that it's still their partner, and
yeah,
because there's the element of that's their partner and that they're gay. You know what I mean?
So it's like, oh, am I the partner that's less than?
Yeah, exactly.
Which is what that would really suck to me, because now it's like, oh, it's happening with another man, but now I'm still emasculated. Because, oh no, am I the weaker man?
No, it's like you're emasculated by another man already. And now you got to go get emasculated by like some cops or some shit, you know, who already not going to respect you already.
You're going to be like, oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, it's like, really, you know, there's a lot of intersection to it.
Going on.
But to answer your question, I say maybe, hopefully, no, I said maybe. So let me correct. Hopefully within the next 50 to 100 years.
Did you say that made you laugh? 15?
50 to 100
so
years.
We're not going to see it.
50, we'll still be alive. 50.
Wait,
if 30, it's the 100,
30 now.
And what? Oh, you don't 50? Think you'll live to 80?
That's a tall order, the way I live.
No, I feel you, but I'm just saying.
I eat French toast every day for breakfast. Like
well, get some vitamins in there, nigga. Like fight back. Damn. Death at the door, you didn't even try it. Death all like, yeah. Sickle all against the start, like, yeah, slide that shit down.
That. It's just like, I don't know. I think after you experience death, it's just kind of like, anybody can go, you know. Yeah, so it's like, you know, right, is it really that bad if I eat French toast every day? That's a different conversation, but it's your life to live, and I'm not going to judge you or shame you. But seriously, I honestly, man, 50 to 100 years, bro.
That's what I'm thinking. How long it takes for human beings to actually like on a whole as a society to really be like, we got to make this change, and everybody's down with this change.
Because to me, here's the part that I don't like about this whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing is that he's a little too cocky about the whole thing. Like
in the court,
in
the court,
yeah,
it was kind of funny, bro. He's like, I'm good, I'm so good.
Yeah, it's like I get it, but also there's an element to it that I don't like about it. Like I get that, like he might semi be in the right here,
but is it the fact that he's a man with a lot of power in the moment?
Yeah, it's that like he's like Johnny Depp. And it's like very, very hard. Like a lot of the YouTube videos that you watch is like, especially the ones that like make fun of the whole thing and like make fun of like Amber's lawyers and how stupidly they handle like Johnny and stuff like that. It's like a lot of that where it's like, oh, Johnny made the crowd laugh and he even makes the jury laugh and like Johnny charms it. Like Johnny Depp is a very charming like individual. He's a very like he looks a lot better than he did a couple of years ago. Like I remember seeing some pictures of him
I get
like with Marilyn Manson. I was like, what part of Central Florida are you guys from? Like it was just like they looked bad. Like it was like they looked like. No, I'm making a joke. Like, sorry. You know, like how people look from Walmart and stuff. You know what I mean? That type of thing. Which maybe I should have said Walmart instead of Florida. It's just Florida's on the brain right now. Anyways, that's how they looked. They looked bad. They didn't look great. Like it was like I expected that from Marilyn Manson, but like I was like, damn, Johnny, what the fuck? What happened?
Bro.
And it was,
I saw Chocolat, bro.
Part of it was the abuse, you know. He was like gaining weight. He was like drinking a lot.
Stress will do that to you.
You know, but he looks great right now. You know what I mean? Like he's filled out, but like he's you know, he's still made aging, he's made the weight his own, you know. I like it. And like he's a good looking person. He's very charming. It's like it's not really novel that like Johnny Depp is charming and like, you know, that's what he does for his like
casted him for.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like
teen heart, you know, idol, tween idol shit. Yeah.
So like it's just a little gross for me to watch it a little bit. Like I enjoy watching those videos, but there's a little ickiness about it because to me it just keeps going back to this thing where it's like, let's shit on her, and not 100% of that is like let's shit on her because of what she did. A lot of it is like let's shit on Amber Heard because, you know, we're gonna shit on women right now. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that element there where it's like, fair. You know, oh, we're fighting back against women finally. And it's like, finally how? Like what is the finally? Like, you know what I mean? And it's like for Johnny, like there is a finally because like he was the one that was getting like, you know, abused and shit. And I get that. Like, but there's like this air of arrogance where it's like when Amber says like, who's gonna believe a man? And it's like, well, yes, but also no, because like he's very believable, like in the situation that he's in right now. Like, you know, like he's like
believable, or would you say like you can trust him?
That's what that is, though. You know what I mean?
Believing
like you don't believe somebody you don't trust.
Trusting them. Well, here's the thing. So
you depends. You don't believe somebody you don't trust. You believe situations.
It's not about believing you don't. It's not about believing someone you trust. It's about believing someone you know, whether you like them or not. If you don't trust them, but what do they do? How well do you know them?
What about them do you know that makes you believe them, though? That's what I mean.
That's the thing. But that isn't the same as like really. Like, oh, I trust this person because, you know, there is a slight difference. And believing and trusting is definitely not the same thing at all.
Yeah, it is.
Believing and trusting are not the same thing.
It is the same thing.
Logan, believing and trusting.
Yeah, they're the same thing. You cannot believe in something without trusting it.
Believe and trust are the same thing, Logan.
Like, put my little Kool-Aid stand out. prove me wrong. Like, you know, I'm like that meme. Like, prove me wrong. Like, prove me wrong that you can believe somebody, that you cannot believe somebody but trust them, or vice versa. Like,
well, in terms of the concept, so we won't get into the words and definitions, but in terms of like believing and trusting someone, so it's like say you don't like your manager, right?
Yeah.
You don't like your manager, but for the most part, they've shown themselves to be fair. You don't think you could trust them because you're like, oh, this person doesn't treat me well sometimes. But you know that at 6 a.m. a delivery has to come in, and they always check the delivery in on time. Never goes off without a hitch.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, like you come in, something happens to the delivery. It was someone else's fault. Manager's like, I checked it in, and this person's like, yeah, no, you didn't. You don't like the manager. You don't trust them. They don't treat you well. But there's a party that's like, I don't know if I could believe that.
Because maybe you don't trust him. You just said that. You said you don't know because I thought you was leading me down a road where that wasn't the case, but you don't trust them.
You don't trust
him,
the
so
manager.
you don't believe him.
No, you don't trust the manager. No, I said you don't trust the manager.
Yeah.
But you'll still believe that he probably checked in the order over the other guy who messed it up.
No.
So the guy's like, oh yeah, the guy who messed up the order is like, yo, the manager didn't check it in. And you're like, well, you know, I don't like the manager. I don't trust him. But I could believe that he always checks the orders in on time. And therefore, maybe that dude is lying.
But you do trust him then. You might not trust him like with your life or trust him with your kids. But you trust that he going to do the orders at 6 a.m. every day. So you believe him based off of your trust about that part of his life. Because otherwise, if you don't trust it, then why would you even believe that he's right in that situation?
Well, just because you've always seen him do it.
That's trust. What the fuck?
They're still not the same thing.
Yeah.
They're still not the same thing.
And that's what I mean about Johnny Depp. It's like, he's easy to trust in a situation where like everybody's looking at him and he's like at his most comfortable and he's like, yeah, I'm about to fuck this shit. You're like, it's like, you know, it's like,
I mean, why are you like, has he been like that really? I feel like he's just been trying to be
cocky. It's just
he's
real
been
cocky.
trying to handle himself well in the court. I don't know.
Has he? He's been acting out. He's not like Amber's lawyers are dumb fucks. Don't get me wrong. They're stupid as shit. But like, he's reveling in the fact that they're dumb as shit. You know what I mean?
I mean, so my only thing is, wouldn't you?
Because of how I am also a little shit, and I probably would. But that's not the same. Like, that's not saying that, oh, wow, Logan really held to some decorum here. Like, come on. I know what I'm doing. Like,
I mean, you're allowed still to speak during cases.
Yeah, you're allowed to speak, but like he's trying
to make positive.
I don't know. He's doing the fuck what he wants to do.
He's trying to make positive of a shitty situation. If it was like, I can't blame him at all because it must be like really horrible to be dealing with people who are like handling themselves horribly, but then you still have to handle yourself with some level of decorum so you don't look a certain type of way. So a jury believes your story.
I think he's got a really good legal team behind him. I think that like they're like, you know, just be your most Johnny-est, because like they tried this case like so many different times in so many different ways, and like now he's suing her in like North Carolina, and it's like, listen, if you can't Johnny Depp these hicks in North Carolina, I don't know what to fucking tell you. You know what I mean? So it's like, I remember I saw like the first day of the trial and they asked some people outside the courthouse, like they found these like teenage girls to talk to, which stop doing people on the street interviews and asking people on the street like what they think about shit. Yeah, I hate that shit. But like, anyways, they asked these girls like what they thought about this shit. And they're like, well, we're not even from this town, but like we came down here because nothing ever happens in this whole state. Like, it's just like, I was like, wow, if he don't win this shit, like, you know, what the fuck is he gonna do? Because it seems like of course they were laughing at him. He's like Johnny Depp, and it's like he's not in LA in Johnny Depp. Like, he's like Johnny Depp.
He's Johnny Depp in like another, but
in like North Carolina, in Raleigh.
Bro. Like, it's his fault. He's Johnny Depp has made this career that makes people look at him with like, admiration. I can't.
Like, what has
can't
Amber
blame
Heard
him
done?
for that?
She was
Other than Aquaman,
like she was Aquaman's girlfriend.
Really
Like, come on, like.
And so the thing right now is you're like, basically, as I hear it, you're like, it's kind of unfair, the matchup.
It
like,
is.
This matchup is unfair. But it's not about that. So shut up, bro. For real. On some level though, like, because like that is all of what you're saying is true. It's
okay.
Like,
I think what my point was when I brought that up is that, like you said from the beginning, like it's not necessarily clear what Johnny Depp's role is in it.
Yeah, which is
so like his presence and his celebrity star power that he's using and his charm and everything kind of eclipses that, and it outsizes how messy the whole thing is, and it makes it look so much more narrow than it is. You know what I mean? Like it makes it look so much more like, and I'm not saying that like horrible shit didn't happen to him. That's not my thing. But it just makes it harder to see his role and his part of it when the whole focus is on how charming he is and how great he is, and oh wow, he still looks great, and how like he's still like slurring like Captain Logan, Jack Sparrow in the courtroom.
You're doing a lot in terms of like bolstering his character, which I see the points you're making, but it's like, because once again on one level, like the people being who they are there's nothing we could do about that. This is a situation that happened between them. It just so happens he's Johnny Depp, she's Amber Heard.
Yeah.
So I think on one level, like you're like kind of giving him a little bit too much credit to his character being like this heartthrob and all that. I know on some level you aren't, but it's not really fair to use because it's a court case.
Mm-hmm.
We have evidence, we're hearing it. Johnny Depp has what he brought. Mm-hmm. And Amber Heard, so it's not really him. If we're gonna see the whole truth between the two of them, well, we got what Johnny brought. We should be asking, what did you bring, Amber? Because funny enough, I haven't even seen or heard much of the evidence.
I don't know if they're that far in the case, but I think that like, or maybe they are. I don't know. Maybe that was what they had. I don't know. But like. I think I say things funnier than I mean them sometimes, but like, because I didn't mean that to be funny at all. But like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what they brought, but like, I feel like I don't know. I know what you're saying. I think what I'm talking about is more outside of the courtroom than inside. So like, when I ask you, do you ever think like men are actually going to get like taken seriously about shit like this? I don't think what's happening with this case is going to have men be taken serious in
now hold on a second, because of course I did say 50 to 100 years, but I'm hoping it's 50 to 100 years with shit like this happening, because it starts a conversation.
No, it does. It starts.
Is it gonna in the next year make more men come out, or make the amount of men that should be coming out about things of this issue?
Hopefully.
I imagine a few more will feel comfortable. Is it going to fix it so that, it doesn't feel this way? That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. That's going to take more time.
Though, it's really not the problem isn't men coming out. The problem is how men are received when they do come out and say that. You know what I mean?
Patriarchy?
Like,
I know,
yeah, it is because of the patriarchy.
It's
but I mean, like,
just because of the
problem,
bro.
Is that like we don't. It's not that we don't take men seriously. It's that we are too willing to uphold our status as men. Like the real reason men react like that is because it threatens the status of other men. When men can like be beaten by women, it means that like men's dominance is threatened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about Elon Musk.
In any case, men, stop being idiots. You got to feel comfortable coming out about certain things. Stop being sexist, which is another thing I wanted to say, because we're going to move on, but stop being sexist, because that's also what that is. Oh, a woman hurt me. How could a woman hurt me? Sexist. Really fucking sexist. There is no emasculation in being hurt by a woman. They're actually very, very capable when they set their minds to it. Oh, like most human beings. Who would have thought? So cut the shit out. Stop feeling emasculated. Speak out. And women, like, please don't feed into the patriarchal bullshit. As we've all now heard Amber Heard.
I don't think that's their. I'm gonna push back.
Well,
I don't think that's their problem. I think that's like Amber Heard and like
No. Well, I'm not talking to women globally, and I don't think this is a regular thing. I just mean those women who are kind of like that, like
who like abuse men.
Well, not just the ones that abuse men, but we're all affected by it, and it's like everyone has to make the effort to not feed into it. Because I was raised by a mother who I love dearly, but also to try and toughen me up. Of course, she didn't do it on purpose, but there are ideas in her head about what a man's supposed to be as well. Like, hey, why are you crying, man? Men don't cry and stuff like that. I don't think she meant to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's the point. We all have to make the effort. We all have to, learn from our mistakes and improve. And that's all I'm really saying there. Of course, it's not their problem. They just want to get rid of the patriarchy, and we, the men who created it, have to, dissemble it. But nonetheless, everybody's got to make sure they ain't fucking poisoned by the shit. That's all I want to say. Now on to Elon Musk. Slams fists on desks. So, Elon, I remember once upon a tweet. I'm so clever. Anyway, moving on. I remember once upon a tweet, someone was like, hey, if the UN would give me a detailed plan on how to end world hunger, I would do it immediately. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of fair, actually. I doubt they'd ever do that because that's a lot of work, I imagine. But you know what, Elon? That's fair. You should be trying to figure it out yourself since you obviously have the resources. But, that isn't your field. Makes sense. That's a fair statement. UN, this is what you guys do. Figure out how much it'll cost. Give me a plan. I'll get it done. And honestly, I thought that was the end of it. I was like, oh, wow, what a douchebag. The UN ain't got time for that, whatever, they playing the old bullshit and all this. And I moved on. And then, as fate would have it, the UN was not playing no games. The UN was like, all right, well, we have I believe it was 6.6 billion. Yeah, there's a 6.6 billion plan. Elon's worth like, how much again? Like what, like 40 billion, some shit like that?
I don't know.
Intern, run the numbers. Run the numbers, intern.
Oh,
yes, sir. Crazy. Yes, sir, Mr. One. I'm sorry. I didn't know we needed. Okay, yeah.
You sound the same. You sound exactly like yourself.
Okay, all right. Hold on, Mr. One. I'm looking it up right now. And I don't think we sound the same at all, sir. Elon Musk is worth $196.3 billion. Wow, I didn't realize it was that much.
But he's not liquid that.
Yeah, true, but doesn't matter. That's still a lot.
No, it matters for the whole.
I mean, it does. But
keep going with your story.
Point is, his worth is 196.3. Mm-hmm. We know he's got to have at least 6.6 to spare. Probably, maybe.
So what happened?
But point is, UN made this plan, and you think you'd get some sort of response from Elon, but instead, Elon Musk goes and buys Twitter for, I think it was like $43 billion. $43 billion, right? So, yeah. So, no end to world hunger, but I could buy Twitter for, let's see, that's 7 times the amount. 6 times 7 is like 42.
So they gave him a budget of $6 billion?
They didn't give, no. What? That's not what he asked for. He doesn't need the budget. He's the one with the budget. Okay. They gave him a plan that he asked for.
Right.
Now, it wasn't no official thing, Logan. It wasn't like he signed a contract. It was like, it wasn't like that. But the point is, it was like, hey, man, people always coming at me, but I could do shit like this. I could end world hunger. I just need some guidance and shit, bro. Yeah, right. Y'all always complaining at me, UN. Why don't you guys help? And the UN was like, okay. Give us some time, made a plan, and then he goes and buys Twitter instead. That's literally what you didn't know that. You didn't know that. Yeah. Eyes is up. So I guess we'll see. Maybe there's still time, Logan. But yeah, literally man says like, yo, UN, make me a plan and I'll figure it out. And then they make him the plan because they're the UN. And then he goes and buys Twitter.
Overpriced too.
Logan, shut up. That's the conversation you want to have, bro. So it's just like,
I'm just saying, like, I just wanted to add that bit.
No, that's because you just needed to shit on Twitter real quick.
Like how frivolous it was. Like it's just like
didn't even need it, and it was
Twitter
overpriced.
doesn't make a profit. So it's like you bought something for $43 billion that doesn't turn a profit.
You have to wonder, actually, too, just to fuck with it, just to play with the algorithms or some shit.
Basically.
I don't know. I'm honestly just really it's not that I'm like really upset. It's not like I trust Elon or whatever like that. It's just that you're a hypocrite.
That really gets you?
Yeah. I'm that dude. Yeah, I know.
Right,
somebody's got to be that guy.
Somebody's got to care. Yeah,
somebody's got to be that guy, and it's me. And it's just like, wow, bro.
Did you really think he was going to solve world hunger, though?
To be honest with you, bro, like, because, funny enough, this happens right after, because I believe Ukrainian president asked for like, what was it? Because, they're dealing with the war.
Mm-hmm.
Ukraine, I hope the war efforts have been going in your favor.
Yeah, he sent them batteries or some shit. Like,
no, he set up a network that he was saying, I need an internet.
Yeah, that's right.
Shit.
You're right.
And
you said that.
Yeah,
before,
you said batteries even more. He set up an entire internet network. So it's like, oh, good, Elon, you get a star today. Well, not really, because but that's not your business. You don't have to do that. And you did that. Good on you. So you would think, or you would hope Elon's a dude. Oh, wait, I say something, I'm going to do it.
He's Lex Luthor, and I keep telling you all that.
Yo, it's so sad that he's Lex Luthor.
I keep telling you that.
I just don't think he's smart enough. I don't think he's that smart, but like straight up, man, just be plotting, it seems.
He bought the one thing that is used for like only his ego. Like,
oh wow, now he basically
like imagine Lex Luthor buying the Daily Planet. That's what that shit is.
He has a propaganda network now.
That's what I'm saying.
I didn't even think about it that way.
Yep, shit, there you go.
Damn.
I'm gonna start writing Superman stories. I really am, because like I'm good at this shit. I see it. It be out in the world. It's like right in front of everybody's face. Like you think like fucking Mark Zuckerberg is Lex Luthor? Like stop it. Like he is not even close. Like
Elon Musk. But yeah, it's not much to say on the subject. It's just like wow, bro. Like how much more of an asshole can you be?
He's bald. Like
Elon's bald? Since when?
You ain't never seen his real hairline?
Oh, nah, okay.
You never see that shit?
Nah.
Ooh-wee. Look up Elon Musk's hairline.
Elon Musk real hairline. give me a moment, y'all.
I'm gonna turn turn him up in the speakers for this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, before the hair plugs. Well, good for you, man. You needed to. Yeah,
that's not just hair plugs.
Yeah. Dang. Well, wow,
that's not just hair plugs. That's billions of dollars. That's what that gets you. Like that hairline is desperate. Like
that hairline needed a good billion.
Like, oh my God. There's men across the country that looked at that hairline and said, wow. Like, how did you revive that? Like, damn, he's got a full head of hair. Like, I feel like it's almost genetically his. Like, I feel like it's not just hair plugs.
Well, I went into the lab, was like, nah, I need this natural looking you guys do. Yeah, just change the genome. I don't care. Like, how much is it? I mean, oh, what? It's only 500,000? Okay, yeah, that's whatever. I was expecting at least 10 million at most. But yeah, man, it's like, it just honestly makes me upset because it's like, one, world hunger. Twitter.
He was not going to solve world hunger.
World hunger.
I'm sorry to anybody and Mitch that thought Elon Musk was about to solve world hunger.
Thought he was going to keep to his word, goddammit.
I'm sorry. People like you guys, I just wish I could give you a big hug. And
I don't want your fucking hug. I want pictures of Spider-Man. No, I'm sorry. I don't know where that came from. I have no idea where that came from.
In a designated safe area, because the world is going to kill you. Like, it's going to kill your little hearts. And I just
Tired
I
of it
want you
killing
all.
my little heart.
I just want y'all to be safe. I don't want.
I
y'all
don't want to
get
be
hurt like
safe.
this.
I want the world to be right.
No, that's not how shit works out here. That's
But
not
yes,
how it works.
if you weren't aware, rather than helping with world hunger for 6.6 billion, Elon Musk decided to buy Twitter for 43 billion. And that is the affair of things, the state of affairs. And it's just like, wow. So shout out to the UN though for
actually having a plan. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I've been trying to find it to look at it, but I don't know if I'd probably have to go to their website to fucking find the actual like copy of what the plan is. But it's just very sad we have world hunger in the first place.
You know,
very sad people can't pool their resources to help.
This is what I hate about academia and classism is that like the UN came up with this plan, and the only real response to someone like Elon Musk saying that they'll put up the money to solve world hunger and not is like a nice and stern look at this bitch. Like
An academia, bro.
Lying, like a good like tweet, like lying bitch. Like, but they would never do that because they're the UN.
Yeah, and they're the smarter ones who know better.
Response that they should have had.
No,
not like a whole essay about like how they were bamboozled by Elon Musk or how billionaires don't care about us. Just like this lying bitch. Like just that should have been that's the tweet.
Hashtag from the UN. Hashtag Elon Musk ain't shit.
Yeah,
2022.
Elon Musk ain't shit.
Hashtag Elon Musk ain't shit. 2022, bro.
Hashtag Elon Musk doesn't care about poor people. Like some shit like that. Like go full Kanye or some shit.
Starving children.
Yeah, about starving children.
That you said you would help. So look at you, and it's like, and it just, and you know, the worst part is because it's like,
there's starving children right now in West Virginia, and Elon Musk won't help them.
Bro, and it's like, you had an opportunity here. Here's another thing to speak of. You had an opportunity here. It's like, because you know we don't trust the people in power. We don't believe the people in power.
But he is the people in power, Mitch.
I'm aware of this, Logan. Jesus, could I finish my angry thought? Goddamn, Jesus Christ, fuck. Yes, I know.
Because you trust him, so I figured you didn't.
It's not. It wasn't necessarily that I trust him. It was the fact that I wanted to believe you would do what you said you were going to do.
Remember that thing we said about believing in trust?
And you remember what I said in response, even though I made an example that didn't exactly help my case, but nonetheless, I still believe in what I said. God damn it. Yeah. I had to admit. I gotta admit when I'm wrong.
It was a little shaky.
Yeah, I had to admit when I was wrong. It was a shaky. I thought it'd be better than that, but it didn't come out better. Nonetheless, they'll still like the same thing. All right. But you had an opportunity here to try and engender some trust or belief in, you know, the people at power, and all you did was throw it away on shit on it for what, man? You know what I mean?
Because he can't, because he's worth like $100 billion. Like he doesn't give a fuck.
That shit don't matter to me.
He don't give a damn.
Exactly what matters
Dusty
to me.
Mitch and like Dusty Logan got to say
I took
about
a shower,
this shit.
bro. I ain't dusty, you know. I took a shower, you know what I'm saying? I'm lotioned up.
Goddamn. All right, look at you.
I ain't dusty out here. I mean, still poor.
Still poor,
self-care. But yeah. You know what I'm saying? I take care of myself.
Yeah, he don't give a fuck about what else broke boys got to say.
I guess maybe at truth, that's what hurts, because it's like the UN went through all this, and it's like you wish you could be the one that had some type of say, but you're not the one trying to deal with all that.
You know what makes me mad? It makes me mad that he hurt you like this. That makes me mad.
It wasn't.
Like, he hurt my friend.
It wasn't
he really
like
hurt
I'm really
my friend's
hurting
feelings.
Logan.
Like, goddamn, because you really hurt about this shit.
Well, it's just when you look at it, it's like you went through all this trouble, and it's like, yeah, you said you do this. Use your money to actually do something.
They probably just whipped some up. They didn't really. Come on, how much else did they do?
You don't know that, bro.
I know what we're talking about. But
hey, Jameer,
how much work did they put in?
Jameer, all right. So how much was it in the Middle East? I think we'll just guesstimate or estimate. You know, so 600. I don't know. We got to put it together real quick. No, bro. Funny enough, but if someone was going to run the numbers, it'd be the UN. They actually have people who make these records, bro. They would know. So it's like, I would like to see the plan for myself, though. See if I could find it, and we could maybe talk about the UN plan and have a discussion on, even though we don't have 6 billion, what could we do to try and,
if it's only 6 billion, that's crazy.
Bro, at least if, you know what sucks about it is, I don't remember how many
America
members
could do that.
Probably, but it shouldn't be the responsibility of just one country, because once you get into the billions, then people start to be like,
stop. If
Logan,
one country,
Logan, I'm serious.
You know what our budget is?
Logan, I know. And I'm not even trying to say you're wrong. It's just that no one,
$60 billion.
Countries don't think in terms of money like that.
Like blow up machines. Like,
Logan, you know what America could use $6 billion budget for?
What?
Our education. Well, maybe not 6 billion. Maybe not 6 billion. Yeah, you're right. But wouldn't that be nice? But not 6 billion. It'd be a little much.
$6 billion we could
billion
easily just take out of like the defense budget.
We can take a lot out of the defense budget, but that's not going to happen, Logan. So that's what I was going to say, because there's how many member countries of the UN? If all of them just chipped in like $1 million, bro, we probably have the fucking money. That's the sad part. UN, so that's the real sad part. UN creates a 6.6 billion budget. There's however many countries connected to the UN. All they'd each collectively probably have to do is be like, yo, here's $1 million. Hey, yo, China, you want to throw $1 million down? Oh, yeah, sure. US, you want to throw $1 million? Yeah, I'll put $1 million in. Hey, yo, Sweden, $1 million? I mean, Ukraine, you probably ain't got it right now, so don't stress. We'll just have, Russia pay an extra, like, 3 that we'll probably never get, but they'll get to it eventually. Hey, yo, South Korea, North Korea, could y'all chill and just throw $1 million over this way? Hey, Ethiopia, Angola, Ghana, could we just get $1 million? Democratic Republic of Congo, I know, Central. It's funny how it sounds, but think about it. Like, all they'd each, I don't know if it'd be $1 million, but all they'd collectively have to pitch in is a much smaller amount than either of them would have to provide individually.
That's true.
The UN drops a budget. Yeah. We shouldn't be relying on Elon Musk in the first place. UN dropped a $6.6 billion budget. All the countries connected to the UN could make that up in the span of like fucking 2 days. And
I know, but it just feels like...
No, what were you going to say? Why wouldn't what?
America do it.
Because honestly, if it goes...
I think it's a weak answer to be like, only one country shouldn't do it, even if that country has the means to do it.
The means to do it. Because the fact is, that isn't how it works when you're running a country. And as soon as you get to a number above $1 billion, everybody's like, where are we pulling that from? And who's taking the hurt? Ain't nothing getting taken out of a defense budget. You know that already. So if it's not coming from the defense budget, where else would it come? Probably budget for infrastructure, probably even more from the budget for education.
But they don't do infrastructure. So yeah, take it out of the infrastructure that you're already not doing. And then just like
you're right. Like you're right. Ain't gonna happen, but you're right.
Have you driven through Brooklyn lately? Like, what the fuck? Bro. I was in the car. I drive for work. I was in the car driving. Sarah called me. I'm on the phone with her. And like the car is bouncing because I'm in.
Pothole City.
Are you okay? Because like the car is bouncing everywhere. I said, yeah, I'm just driving through Brooklyn. I was just like, I said, it's the road. It's fucked,
bro. But it really is sad. No, it's not good road. It really is sad because yes, you're right. America could cover it. China could cover it. Russia, dumbass, could cover it. North or South Korea probably cover it. Well, I don't know, but England.
The problem is that it's a bunch of rich assholes that run the country, and then it's also Elon Musk, who is also a rich asshole, and he sent the Ukraine their own little personal internet thing because that's good publicity for Tesla. Not that like solving world hunger wouldn't be good publicity for him, but like.
But it doesn't net as much at the end as showing that
as like a fucking war. I
could put up, internet space during wartime.
Because like he solves world hunger, but like how long is that gonna take? You know what I mean? It doesn't it's not overnight thing. Like, there's logistics, like you gotta send the food out, you gotta send the money, you gotta make sure the right people get paid.
And everybody could have it.
The number might be higher because there's corruption. It's like there's a lot of unknowns,
No, I agree. It's a lot, man. I'm gonna see if I can find the plan right now, actually. You're gonna go to their website. Show me the goddamn plan. Show me the plan. Give me one moment.
Okay. And then I want to talk about the stuff that's going on with Florida.
Ew.
Yeah, ew. Also, I hate this whole Elon Musk free speech thing and like people like, oh, free speech. Because this is something to be said about like free speech where it's like conservatives, when they say free speech, a lot of them just mean like being able to be racist online and nobody say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And like, if you don't think that's true and you're like, Logan, that's a little harsh, explain Parler. Like, explain when they went and they made their own social media network and then it was like somehow it was like kind of too racist for some of them. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, if you mean free speech and then like we make a free speech outlet so you can show everybody what you really mean, and then that's just like full with like Nazis and like the worst of the worst. Like, what do you really mean by free speech? And it's like Elon saying that, you know, he's gonna let people say whatever they want on Twitter. That's, I don't know. There's a little bit of racism.
I might have found the plan.
Oh yeah,
maybe. So I guess ending world hunger is about 42 million people. Wow, I thought that'd be a much higher number. Thank God it's not, actually. I mean, you laugh, but seriously, I honestly thought...
I just laugh at like the small victories you find, like the things that make you happy. Like,
bro, I thought that number was going to be a lot higher, and it might be, but you know, you can't record everything.
It's like an extreme. It's like a extravagant number. He's like, wow, it's not 100 billion. I'm like, okay. I mean, I take your point, but like, there's only 8 billion people on the planet. Like, it's like
42 million people.
42 million is a lot.
Well, 42 million is a lot. It's just considering how many, like you said, there are 8 billion people on the planet. I did think the number was higher. You know,
like that's people who are desperately starving. That's not even like people like me. That's just like hungry and skips a meal every now and then. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, but the number that they show, so they're trying to help 42 million. The number that they say, the estimate that they have is that 282.7 million people suffer like extreme levels of acute hunger. And due to like issues like, you know, natural disasters and then, of course, COVID. But yeah, there was something here worth discussing with Elon Musk, because the point isn't to be like, hey, this is the perfect plan. The point is to be like, this is how we think we'd get it done. Come speak with us, give us your budget, and let's put it through so we can make it work. Right. So from what I'm seeing here, they was ready to do just that. What a sad case. What a sad day.
I'm not that sad about it.
Well, not about Elon Musk.
Call me cynical, but I'm just not that sad about it.
It's not about Elon Musk saying no, but the people starving to death. Like, I'm sad about that.
Yeah, I'm sad about people starving to death. I just like, maybe it's that I don't really believe anybody's really gonna put the effort in to like actually solve the thing, and like,
no, I get that.
You know what I mean? So
yeah,
it's like,
that I do get on a spiritual level. On a spiritual
people don't
level,
give a fuck about poor people, and
people don't give a fuck about people to begin with. On some level.
But they really don't give a fuck.
But they really don't give a fuck about poor people, right?
You know what I mean? Like, there's another level which like y'all like treat poor people. It's like, okay. And I say y'all because like sometimes I don't have the best politics on like poor people, so it's like I'm included in y'all.
You know what
I mean?
really sucks is because you know, to be doing well or consider yourself well if you're like making some like median income of like, you know, 60,000 in a place that isn't New York City, you're pretty well off. You can afford a house, a car, family's good, except you're still poor. Because there is no
I think about that a lot.
There is no actual middle class. When you think about it, when you're thinking about what like rich actually is in terms of like wealth,
like 100,000 a year isn't rich.
Like you're really not rich. If you're not doing numbers in the millions or billions, you're really not actually rich or wealthy. Say that.
You go too far. I would say you have to make millions or billions to not be poor.
Okay, so if you're not making upwards to like 500, you're right. What's the like the actual?
I feel like
living
if you make like
$100,000
a year, you're like middle class. You know
That's
what I mean?
what really, yeah.
So like, yeah, because that's like how
and
much
not upper
money
middle
it takes.
class. You just hit
like in the middle. You know what I mean?
Hit middle,
like
yeah.
upper middle class, you're like making maybe half a million to like maybe $1 million before
like
you're
half
like
a mil plus, and then you're like upper middle.
Yeah, exactly.
But like people really don't think about that.
No,
you know what I mean?
No, they don't. And
people don't really think about what poor is.
I think about the fact that people don't think about that a lot. That like
I know you do because you're all about that. Me, I don't. I am aware. But like, yeah, it really is scary. It really is.
I'm about that because I want people to, realize their worth and realize what money they could be making, money they should be making. Really, at the end
and
of the
how
day,
upset
what is
they
it
should
that
be,
you should be making?
Yeah. No, and how upset you should be at the fact that you're not
making
by the laws that have been set, purposely set to keep you. Well, different conversation, but yeah. But what were you had brought up something? You said, the freedom of speech thing. And once again, wait, before we go, fuck you, Elon Musk. Fuck you, Elon, for reneging on your word. You's a bitch nigga and a hypocrite. I'm good now. Yeah, I had to do it for the culture. I had to do it for the culture, for the cast. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even for me. That wasn't even for me.
The fact of that is,
it was just for the culture.
Like, I get the point. Like that. Like the UN should use that. Elon Musk is a bitch nigga.
On some, yo. And it has to be one of the black people on there. And like, Elon Musk is a bitch nigga. Everybody's like, what? Signed person.
No, like they should like quote tweet him. Like the quote tweet the story of him buying Twitter and be like, bitch nigga energy. Like
bitch nigga energy. Signed all the black staff of the UN. And like have like the leader of the UN, which I hope is a person of color. But if it's a white person, just be like, we stand by the particular margin account. We stand by what was said by some members of not our corporation, but our organization. We understand that it may come to some as a little off or awkward, but they're just expressing the true sentiment of the UN. And then the report is just there like, they said Elon Musk's a bitch nigga. And then dude's just standing there like,
they'd be like, in the IG post, you said that Elon Musk is a quote,
and I quote,
I quote, a bitch nigga. Now, what exactly did you mean by that?
Well, I don't think we need to mince words here. Particular some staff just felt that is what exemplified his character in the moment, and we at the UN. We support our staff's thinkings and, particular freedoms. And that's how the staff felt. And we stand by it. All right, next question.
But yeah, see, that's not so hard, guys.
No, not so hard. I'll write the letter for you. Quote me.
So, like, one of the running stories I think in the country is like, how the Republican, I hate this shit too. The Republicans, like, they make these laws that like you can't have certain books and teachings and stuff. And it's gone from the beginning where it's like about history and such, where it's basically erasing like things in Black history, really. Now we're getting up to the point where we, like, laws in Florida, like anti-woke laws and things like that, where like Republicans are trying to be like, well, now we can't even talk about discrimination. We can't even talk about racism as like people perpetrating racism, which, savvy, good on you. I didn't see that one coming, but I should. Wow, because I didn't see it coming, not because I didn't think you could do that, but also part of me was like, wow, you could do that. Like, you're just like,
I feel like there's also another part of you that's like, damn, white folk, this really the direction you tried to take in Florida?
Like, it's a very deep and blatant.
Logan, you told me it was called the anti-woke? Like, is that an official term for the law?
Okay, the official law is HB 7, but it's known as the Stop Woke Act. Like laws always get like names on them, like nicknames, you
Some
know,
little nickname. Yeah.
Yeah, and so basically the nickname that they're comfortable with the marketing for it is basically the Stop Woke Act. And basically it's legislation that prevents instruction or workplace training on systemic racism, gender, and race discrimination in Florida schools and businesses. Any violation of this act could open up schools and employers to potential civil rights lawsuits. This is I'm reading this from Impact. Okay. They're like a magazine or something, I forgot. But like this is from their reporting about this law that Ron DeSantis just passed in Florida, right?
Wait, it passed?
Oh yeah, they have a Florida legislature that's run by Republicans, and
it passed.
They make their own little laws, their own little fucked up racist laws. And then they send it to Ron DeSantis and he signs off on them. Yes. So basically, an employee can file discrimination claims against any employer who engages in training or discussions about Black history, LGBTQ plus issues, concepts of injustice and discrimination. And
damn, I may not be able to move back to Florida.
This is the type of things that they consider to be unlawful discrimination. Mm-hmm. Members of one race, color, national origin, or sex are morally superior to members of another race, color, national origin, or sex. I'm going to stop right here for a second. Republicans like to do this thing, and like conservatives, especially like debate type conservatives, like to do this thing where they like to pull they're very good at irony, I notice. Like they're very good at irony when it comes to like taking like a complaint that like the left has or progressives have, mm-hmm. and using it against you in a very ironic way. Like the fact that they say that members of any one race, color, national origin, or sex are morally superior to members of another race. You're just describing racism basically, right? And that is discrimination, but the way they mean it isn't that. Like we already have anti-discrimination laws, but the fact that they made this one up
is for them to be like, hey, Black people, if y'all talking about Black pride in the workplace, someone can make a ruckus about it.
Not even that. It's that members of one race, color. Sorry, guys. Because I lost my train of thought for a second.
Get it back. Get back on track.
Yes. It's that you're not allowed to talk about that. So you're not allowed to talk about white supremacy. You're not allowed to talk about the fact that white people do things based off of privilege or white supremacy or things like that. That's what they mean by not being able to talk about a member of another race as morally superior to members of another race. It's not that you can't say, it's not what their problem isn't that like Black people want to have Black pride or whatever. It's that you are saying the loud part of what they're doing out loud, and they are like, you can't say that shit no more. Mm-hmm. Like, don't say anymore that it's like you ever see a little kid when they're like shh, shh, and they put their little finger on your lips and say, don't say it. That like this is what they're doing. This is another one. A person by virtue of their race or sex is inherently racist, sexist, or oppressive. See, that's just saying the quiet part out loud. And so what they're saying is that like they say the same thing again. A person's moral character or status as privileged or oppressed is determined by race, color, national origin, or sex. See, a lot of you are upset at this point now. A person by virtue of their race. This one, the last one is the one that's most important to me. A person by virtue of their race, color, national origin, or sex should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment to achieve diversity, equity, or inclusion. Now, when they say should be discriminated against or receive adverse treatment, this is the thing that kills me, I find funny, and that is completely disgusting when like conservatives like fight against things like affirmative action, that they say that things like affirmative action actually discriminates against white people because it does not include white people in the selection process, which no fucking duh. Like that's the reason why you have affirmative action. And that's the thing that fucking liberals, Democrats, and everybody doesn't want to say, is that like affirmative action is designed because of the fact that most organizations in America did not want to integrate. And so because they were openly discriminating against people who were not white, people came up with affirmative action laws to say, hey, you now have a quota. Huh?
No,
yeah,
like,
stop
could
that.
you stop that, please?
You now have a quota of how many minorities and how many different people you have to have in a workplace, whether that's women or whatever.
And before you continue on, just real quick, I believe because HBCUs are like black organizations, and affirmative action works the other way, where they have to have a quota of white people, I believe.
Yes, exactly.
And so it's like, so carry on, please. It's just how stupid people are sometimes.
So if you are an organization that does not believe in this because you would like your organization to be all white, you would like to say something like, well, doesn't that discriminate against white folk? Doesn't that discriminate against white people? And the answer is no, it does not discriminate against white people because white people are the ones that are already discriminating. And then you might say, well, is the answer to discrimination more discrimination? It's not discrimination, it's discretion. If you have somebody who is determined to fill a place with only white people, right? Like that is their aim.
First place.
That is their aim. And all you ask them to do is to just not fill it with as many. Like if you had 100% and we just asked you to fill it with just 80, which is what a lot of places like to do anyways. To say that, oh, well, you're discriminating against white people and you're giving up spots that could have gone to a nice young white lad that probably had the great, like you're assuming all these things because of the fact that you want to be able to discriminate against other like races that aren't white. And so that's what this whole thing is. That's what this whole law is about. And there's already a lawsuit against it, but it is one of those things. Good. Yes, there's because it's like it's so ridiculous. That's just like it sounds unconstitutional. It does not sound like something that you can actually just like do. Like you can't just like do shit like this.
Passed.
Yeah, and pass. Well, it passed because Ron DeSantis. Okay, let me. Another frustration of mine.
Is Ron DeSantis about to get the book?
No, you're about to get the book. Yes, you're the one that's in trouble. That's not Ron, and I'm gonna tell you why. You're surprised that it passed. Like so many.
No, not surprised. I'm sad. I will make the differentiation. I'm not surprised.
I'm still mad at you for being sad that it passed because I'm gonna tell you this. So many Florida Democrats and liberals share your sentiment. And I know what it's like to live in Florida and be like, oh, this shit's going to hell, right?
Yeah, what the fuck?
But you kind of don't get to be that way when, just like I was saying a couple of episodes ago, there's not a good fight that's put up. Like, there's not a good fight that's put up. The young people who are impassioned about this stuff and who do care about like racism or say they care about racism and sexism and discrimination and all these different things that say that you care about the culture not turning out to be the way it is. You abandon Florida, and when I say that, I mean like politically, you abandon it to Republicans and conservatives every time because you didn't get the most Berniest person that you could get or whoever right when you wanted to get them. You threw your tantrums and everything. Meanwhile, Republicans, when they went to go to vote, they didn't care who it was. They didn't care who had fucking morals or who didn't, as long as the person did what the fuck that they wanted them to do. And so then what I have to hear at the end of the day is liberals and progressives or Democrats or whoever you blue people want to call yourselves nowadays. What I have to hear is you bitch and moan and complain about people who basically are burning books without fire. You sit there and you complain about the fact that you can't talk about racism, you can't talk about discrimination. The people are making like the state inhospitable for trans people and gay people and for black people and all types of people that aren't just cis and white and het and all the other like terms that we care about, but goddamn well no conservative cares about. And you still won't go fucking vote. And then if I say you won't go vote, you say, oh, well, voting isn't the only thing you can do. Well, no fucking shit, but you don't do that shit either. And it's so tiring.
Logan's upset politically, y'all.
And it's so fucking tiring to me to hear you guys retweet the same grifters every year, to retweet the same people that would be like, oh, Bernie or bust or Jill Steiner bust. And you knew damn well, like, you guys are borderline Republicans, most of you. I'm going to say it like that.
Is that fair to say?
Yes, fuck you. You are borderline, not you, Rich, but like,
I know.
Like the collective, fuck you. Like, you guys are borderline Republicans at this point. I'm going to tell you why, because you hold water for people that just end up letting Republicans be in power. Like, you don't see, like, the fact that like Joe Biden is president and not Trump again is like, to me, was fucking like, what type of miraculous shit was this? I can't believe we would pull that off. And the fact that like, if I say that out loud, it's like, oh, so you like Joe Biden? No, I don't fucking like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is like the least of what I would want out of a president. But he's the least of what he's the most of what I can get out of you guys. Because of how we are. Ron DeSantis runs around like this, like evil Wallace from Wallace and Gromit, because I think he looks like that. But he runs around like this and just signs a bunch of bullshit in Florida, and you guys live around like that because you guys don't really give a fuck. Not the way you think you do.
Right.
You're okay with like moralizing to your other liberal friends about how liberal you are, because I've been there. I've been to the parties. I've been to sat down to listen to the masturbatory little talks you guys have about like what you're talking about in college and like how it is and whatever like college town you actually live in until you come back to like the podunk places. Like, you don't give a fuck. Like, these are just talking points until you decide that you're making too much money in your future and you're a Republican again.
Yo. And that's the cycle, huh?
That's the cycle. You don't give a shit. Like, part of me wanted to share the story because of the fact that I do care and that, like, you know, it sucks.
Of course.
It's like, it sucks. It really sucks that, you know, like, part of the country, like, this is why I really want to talk about this topic, is because like part of the country wants to educate in a certain way and the other part doesn't. And then part of the country is going to be left so far behind, and there's going to be so much confusion and such a rift in what we are able to teach ourselves as a country. And nobody seems to like get that part, that like a big chunk of the country, like the people that decided that like history just doesn't fucking matter and like you can say whatever the fuck you want and like you can discriminate however you want. That part of the country is great to be like, oh well, we live in New York and whatever, but like that part of the country, the part of the country that I come from, like they're getting fucking left behind.
Yeah, no,
like kids are growing up as like this shit is normal, and like they are not going to be well equipped for the world that they're about to live in.
Yeah.
Period.
No, fucks.
You know what I mean? And it's very hard for me to look around and say like, oh yeah, you really care. You like, I've not been in New York long enough to not say that I'm not one of you. You know, like that's still my home. You guys do not fucking care. I was there. You don't. I've watched the debates. I've watched you guys go back and forth. I watched how you let Trump win the first time. I watched the shit happen in real time. How you went back and forth about how, voting third party is done. Oh, fuck you. Like, you know, you don't give a shit. You moralize and you moralize and you moralize. And then when fucking assholes like Trump and Ron DeSantis or fucking whoever, Greg Abbott from Texas, who fucking made a fucking embargo from Texas to Mexico just because he didn't want fucking Mexicans crossing the border. Like, which was totally fucking illegal, but because this is where we are. This is where we fucking are as a country, where the Republicans are so fucking gnarly that they're just doing anything that they want to do.
I guess I don't look at it too often.
I know, Mitch. I know.
Yeah. No, I mean, you make some valid points. It's just there's so much to the culture and then the counterculture are part of it and the interchange in between that puts you in a place where you're like, I want to care. And then you try to help and it seems like you're failing. So you get disillusioned and you don't participate as much. And then you don't participate as much and then shit like this happens.
Yes. I get the idea that like not everybody is politically savvy and not everybody knows everything politically.
Well,
right?
It's not even that. People don't want to.
Yes, but then like the same people who be like, oh, well, I'm anti-politics and all this, you still in like those spaces where you have your mouth in everything. You know what I mean?
Some people,
and then so
like
I kind of get like that feeling that like a lot of old black people get is like, shut your mouth when grown folks are talking, because like there's people who actually want to do shit. And there's people that actually want to see shit get done, and there's people that actually want to stop some shit from happening.
Yeah.
And you look at those people and you don't help. You're not helping. You don't help. And that's what burns me up. That like shit like this is avoidable. You know what I mean? Like it's one thing if you truly don't have the numbers, but like the way you guys talk, you talk like you got the numbers, but you just don't want to fucking use them. So it's like, what the fuck? And I really think you don't have the numbers.
No, I was gonna say they don't have the numbers.
Bro. They don't have the numbers.
They don't have the numbers.
But the fact that like you don't have the numbers and you still talk spicy and you still act like, you know, oh well, isn't it so bad how racist the Republicans here are? It's like, who the fuck? I don't like. And I know like a lot of this is like directed towards a lot of white liberals that are in like red states and stuff. Because really, you guys have the biggest mouths, but like help the least. But like, I don't know. I'm venting a lot of my frustrations from like stuff like this because you're not the ones that are affected at the end of the day.
No, and that's valid to say because one, you're not the one that's affected. Two, if there was going to be someone to deal with those people, you are the ones that are best equipped and going to be the safest in interacting with.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the fact that you aren't doing anything, because it's hard. It's harder for, I mean, for instance, Logan's living in Ocala is probably like one of what, like hopefully like 100 black people in your town. I hope.
No. It's like Ocala is a diverse town. It's just
that's good.
It's conservative.
But
you know
that wasn't the point anyway. The point is, it's just like, you know, it still is technically harder for you to get into some of those spaces. You know what I mean? And to effectively affect change and have people rally behind you because of racism sometimes. Whereas the white liberal dude, hey, we're doing this. I could raise these numbers. If I were to help more, I'd be able to actually affect change. Because after all, dismantling white supremacy is, of course, one of black people's goals, but it shouldn't even have to be because white people should be dismantling it anyway.
It's just like I don't know.
I know, right? It's like, yo. So
no,
it's like,
I remember this
it.
quote. Like Albert Einstein said that, like, you know, racism isn't black people's responsibility; it's white people's responsibility.
Which is just facts. It's
like,
just black just people are like, yo, we have to do something because obviously you have to do something and defend yourself. But it's like, this isn't our mess to clean up. we're just cleaning because we don't want to smell the fucking shit on our doorstep. You know what I'm saying? But like what you're saying is true. Like, yo, if you have the ability, you have the power, use it for the positive outcome.
Yeah.
Don't just pretend and talk like you about it and then not be.
Yeah. It's like the same thing I said previous episode, like the episode before, the one before that, is like, you get politicians, people running for mayor and shit, people running for city council and shit. You're like, you don't know what the fuck they do and why they want to do it. And then, like, at the end of the day, a lot of them just live just like the Republicans do. You don't have any real distinction, real difference. And like your proposals don't, like, they're like broad and like, when you talk about education, you're like, let teachers teach. And it's like, that's not our fucking problem right now. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, there's so many things that like just life in general that just get thrown to the wayside because people are ambitious and they want to make, like, they want to be the best person in their Democratic red state Facebook group. And it's just like, come the fuck on, like, get over yourself is what I want to say. You know, a lot of the time when I'm in those spaces, just get over yourself. And it's like,
do some.
When I'm in those spaces, it's like, well, why didn't you say anything? Because it's not worth it. It's just fucking not worth it. Like, if I thought it would change something, I would say something. But it's like, it's so not worth it to the point where it's like, you guys don't care about this. Why am I going to talk to you about it?
And I'm going to tell you something that you've probably heard before and ignored.
Yeah. I'm not the first. I'm not the first person to tell you
which would be the case. No, it is it is a very, very sad state of affairs in terms of like our political bodies in this country and how it works and operates. I told you about how one of my homies, no names, of course, but was working for a state legislator here and was surprised that it runs at all. Yeah. I told you that story, right? Yeah. Now, he says that, but we live in New York State, so I'm surprised. So imagine the rest of the fucking country.
In Florida, it works because they're all in one accord. You know what I mean? Like they had... it works right because now they work it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, but it's like, it's not really working because it's so fucking garbage. But like, it's just really scary. Well, I mean, because I don't. For instance, this law, like I don't. So it's like, what the fuck?
No, I think a lot of people say, that's my other thing. Is like, no, it works because they decided to work it.
And they made it work.
It's not like it's not broken.
Well, like I wouldn't go to say all of that because while sure it's
like
working.
Gerrymandering and stuff is a thing. Is like, you know, you make it harder for the other side to win. Because of districts.
But I'm not even talking about that. Just because I get you. Like it's working the way they intended for it to work, but it's just like because it's also like you were saying earlier, where's the fight from the opposing side that says they're ready to fight, but then never does.
Right.
And it's just like, I look at the state of things and I'm like, does anybody even really want to make the system work? Sometimes it's like some people don't understand how. The people who are so removed from, you know, any type of political alignment, which I definitely get. And then you have the people who are supposed to be like involved and then they're not doing anything. And it's just like, well, how does anything actually get done then? That is the question, isn't it? Exactly. And see, even you, who should be the one like, hey, I have some, is like, I don't fucking know anymore.
It depends on what you want to get done.
That's that's valid. Yeah. But it's just sad at the point where it's like, wow, this is where we're at. Like, this is legit where we're at. And so, like, with this particular case as a Floridian, it's just like, wow. Knew things was bad. Was surely not hoping it was this bad.
Like I said, it works when you work it. Republicans didn't do anything that a Democrat shouldn't have been doing.
Wouldn't have been able to do, right?
Yeah, wouldn't have been able to do. Is that,
or anyone from any fucking party, whatever.
You made sure you won up the whole legislature, the whole state, or at least enough so that when you ran something up to the governor, that you also made sure that you won, that he would sign off on your bullshit. And when, you know, like, I can't get mad at that part. Like, I just can't. Like, I get the part, like, if you gerrymander the state to shit, and it probably is that way, but, like, you gerrymander a district so, like, you can't win in a district if you're blue or whatever. But, like, there are things where I see, like, there are unfair things about a system, but we kind of get caught up on how unfair a system is sometimes, to the point where it's like, well, there's nothing we can do. And when you're at that point, that's when I get upset, because it's like, now you're not trying. I feel that way. Like, that might not be fair on my part, but that's how I feel, is that you aren't really trying that hard to make it work either. Because if we have to get to the point where you're like, well, you know, they did this, and that. And it's like, well, what will you do because of that? You still have to do something. Like, if these are the values that you have, you live for them and you believe in them, then you have to do something so that, or just tell me it's game over. Say, don't run again. Like, don't run for anything ever again. Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't seek power. Don't do shit.
Like, all right, fine. Just say that shit, man.
Yeah,
so I know.
Just say that. And, like, I don't want to hear from you ever again. You know what I mean? But, like, that's not going to be the case. I am going to hear from you again. I'm going to hear from you when you want your votes or your donations or whatever again. And so it's like, so there is something to do, but you just don't want to do it. So I can't keep going over and being like, oh, well, gerrymandering is bad. It is. Like, the electoral college is bad. It is. But we haven't changed that because we didn't put the efforts in to change it. We didn't do what we were supposed to do to change it. And, like, it's like, some people would be like, well, that's not fair because we ran a strong campaign. It's like, not strong enough. Like, obviously, like, I don't know what to fucking tell you. Like, I used to run track. I can't run a race, get beat by 3 other people, and be like, wow, like, I should have won. I ran as hard as I could. Not as hard as 3 other people. Like, that's how it works. I can't be mad about the rules of the game.
You can. Just not much you could do about them.
If there's not much I can do about them, then fucking play the game. Like, stop complaining about the rules until you can be the one to change the rules.
But it depends on the game you're playing. I feel like people get lost in that shit.
Probably.
I don't know. Like, being, I mean, would you run for office?
Not anymore.
And I was referring to Florida, not New York. Would you ever run for office or try to?
In Florida?
Yeah.
No, I don't think about that shit.
Well,
anymore.
which
I used
isn't
to think about that,
which isn't the point. And I believe that, but the point is like, that's where you're at right now. And it's like, what's the reason for that? There's an obvious reason.
What's the reason that I wouldn't run for office?
No, I'm sorry, that was a rhetorical question. I can obviously tell what the fucking reason is.
Because I'm mad as shit.
well, I mean, no, you're not mad. It's just you're frustrated. Well, so yeah, I mean, mad, but like, for obvious reasons, for understandable reasons. But that isn't the point. It's just that, like, that's where you're at right now due to things. And it's like, you have to do something about that. But you wouldn't want to go into that space because it's like, it's not even just like you don't think you'd be effective. It's like, what would that space do to me? What would I have to become to try and...
I don't care about that. I think I wouldn't be effective. That's what I think.
You really just think you wouldn't be effective at all?
Yeah.
Which is, well, and I respect the truth, but also still the problem. It's like, look at you in this moment. And I don't mean it in like a disrespectful way. I mean it just as course of subject. Like, here's this man, obviously passionate about the place he lives in, but circumstances now have put him in a place where before he would have thought about doing the thing and is now just like, wow, I wouldn't even be effective at it. Which is still a problem, and I hope that changes for you.
There's so many more people I need to be effective in like that level, and like even at a very low level. Like, there's so much
I get that.
more connection. Like, it's so weird, like the amount of connections that like politicians, like the Republicans have in like little like Ocala, like Marion County. Like, there's like so like it's a good old boys club, and they call it that for a reason, because they know each other and they vote. They like figure out a way to get each other like elected and stuff. Like,
right.
That's power. That's like, you know, that's something is going on there. You know what I mean? Right. So that's significant. I don't I don't poo-poo anybody for like trying to go up against that. But like the thing I do like put my nose up a bit about is that the approach, and like the approach is very like, it doesn't have anything to do with the people who are actually suffering. Like it's by people who like have like campaign slogans that have nothing to do with what's going on. It has nothing to do with what's going on at all.
No, I get that. I do. I would hope that changes in you, but that isn't like for me to say. I would just legit hope that changes in you, because like that is still and part of the problem, not per se for you, but like in general en masse, especially for our generation and those younger. People are like, in one sense, what's the point? And if we're at that point, we don't get anything done either.
I feel like I'm better like doing this, like teaching and like talking about it and like talking about things that are happening,
which
and
is
like
true.
Explaining that true. Like I feel like that is better, like where I'm best like doing my service. You know what I mean? I feel like I've been to like maybe like in a different town or something, but like I've been to like those type of meetings and stuff where like people are like trying to get elected and stuff, and like, you know, people
no I mean I get that. I get that, and I'm not, and once
maybe
again,
I don't get what you're saying.
No, that's true. No, it's not, it wasn't per se, it's just, you know, what I see and what I notice, because that's true, and of course everybody has to pick their space where they're effective. What I was getting into saying is though, like, it can't, because for instance I had the thought, no matter, you know, what I'm doing, at some point though, I was like, I hope at some point I would somehow be able to get a law degree. And at some point, maybe get into real estate. I know, right? I said that shit. Not now, but you know why? I would be like, why would I want to get a law degree? Because at some point I'm like, if I'm really the type of person who I am, at what point do I go full on direct? Now, I'm not saying this is the same for you, but in that same vein, and I'm going to speak personally for me, it's just like, at some point, like, even though I hate politics, I'm apolitical, and I'd rather just, well, you know how I am, everybody knows how I am. Mitch is ready to just fight, revolution, IECM, motherfucker. But point is, it's like, realistically, I've also had that discussion with myself, because like I told you, get the law degree. Realistically, it's like, all right, well, get involved in, you know, the local government that's happening around you. You got to be aware of what's going on if you want to make effective change. Now, of course, I've been gone from Florida for literally this June 10 years. So I was thinking that in this space. But nonetheless, like, if I was living in Florida, it'd kind of be along the same lines where I'm like, so what can I do at this point? Because after all, think about how American government, you know, started. I don't know if I could speak for other places, because like England descends from monarchy and shit, right? You know what I mean? But for America, it literally was Carpenter Greg came in one day and was talking about, we need this, that, and the third. And all of a sudden the people rallied behind him. Yeah. And all of a sudden he was a politician. Yeah. And now it's become the disgusting mess that it is. But it's like, well, I don't know about being
It was always gross, Mitch. It's just, you know.
Well, it was always
put
gross.
A little gloss on it.
A little gloss. But the point is, I could respect a lot more the dude who did something else and was more involved in his community trying to make political change than the career politician who was just like, yeah, I just got to know how to smile.
Right.
Get people to listen to me. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so this isn't even me like trying to really make a point. It's just, you know, I'm kind of talking because I also feel that pain as well. Even though, like, I'm the apolitical type who's like, yo, let's start the fucking revolution. Arm yourselves. Let's go. But realistically, nobody ever really wants that. No one goes asking for war. If you are, you're a foolish human being. Straight up. But like, nonetheless, so this is the piece that I give to you, because it's also the piece I've been trying to, you know, navigate myself. Like, at some point, because, you know, there's a generation beneath me. There's a generation ahead of me that I had to deal with. Okay, Mitch, you might have to get more involved. How does that involvement look? What else do you think you could do? I'm an artist, I'm an actor, sure, but I'm involved in my community. Maybe I could learn more about infrastructure, because all it is research. If I want to go, you know, make some political statements or make some political change in terms of how the infrastructure works, despite me being an artist or whatever, I'd have to dedicate some time to learn about the infrastructure, see the problems, develop a plan, and then rally people behind me to get it done. Because that, and in the basic idea, that's how it works.
Or.
Okay, what's up?
In your own little apolitical anarchist type vein, there was a guy a couple of years ago on like TikTok, I believe, or maybe he just was like on Instagram Reels or something, whatever short video thing he was on. Yeah. Like a couple of years ago, there was this guy where like in his community, there was potholes everywhere. So what he did was he would just draw dicks around the potholes until the city came and filled them in because they had to get rid of the dicks.
Oh, right. You trying to do, I'm down with some guerrilla shit. Yeah. I'm down to do some guerrilla shit.
So like maybe instead of getting a law degree, just draw some dicks around the potholes. So you're saying
I need to be more
anarchist. Yeah.
Anarchist. Okay.
Yeah. Just be anarchist for good. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. It's a slippery slope, man. Once I have all that power, I realize I can do whatever I want.
This is the show is about. You're supposed to empower yourself. You know, Indeed. What are you good at? Like Indeed. I like to exemplify your talents. You know, and if anarchy is your talent, let me amplify it.
But well, okay, let's not call it that. Isn't my anyway? I'm not going to get that. But the point being, like, yeah, I agree with you in one sense because it's like. The fact is, whether it's from my perspective or yours, the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls who are listening in, and you fucking old coots who caused the mess, is that we have to do something.
Yeah.
That is just the truth, regardless of how anybody feels. If we don't, a fucking anti-woke law in fucking Florida gets passed because everybody dropped the fucking ball.
Dang, yeah. Yes.
For real. Yeah. No, I feel you, man. I ain't the type to, but like, I hear your pain, and it's like, but for real, like that's home for me still too. And it's like, damn, like I said it under my breath, and I was mostly joking, but it's like, shit, am I ever going to move back home? Because realistically speaking, if home looks like that, the only reason I'll be going back is for family. And then every time I'm talking to them, I'm like, why y'all still here? And who wants to have that conversation, really?
It's because I missed Florida today. Like, it's cold in May. Like, I don't like this shit.
Cold in May.
Yeah.
And this is cold in May.
Yes.
It's okay. You'll get used to it. I feel you, but you'll get used to it.
But, you know, like, and I was adjusting well to the winter, you know, as a Floridian. But like at the same time,
you know, we always make it. It's not as bad as we think, though. But we do always. It's horrible, though. Shit, my ass. I got seasonal depressing because of this. Anyway, never mind.
You did, yes.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Hot
Honey Sundays is coming back, Mitch. Don't worry.
I can't wait. And we got that Cinco de Mayo thing coming up too.
Oh yeah, we gotta go to that. Yeah.
Bro, I don't care if anybody else is. I shared it with my friends, which was the piece that I was supposed to do, and now I don't care who else is going. They said free event. I'm gonna buy me up some tequila and act a fucking fool, regardless of who's coming.
This episode is coming out this week, and this week is Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo!
Oh wow, that is gonna be yeah.
Yes, yeah. Let's get out of here, Mitch.
Yeah, man. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stop talking about all this bullshit. Do you have anything you want to say to the people, Mitch?
You know, just a little, you know, just a quick recap. How's it been going? Like, sexism is bad, as we know. Men try not to feel emasculated by the bullshit that you literally know you shouldn't be emasculated about. Like, get out your feelings for a quick second or analyze them. I don't honestly give a fuck, but understand. And as I said earlier, like, the patriarchy really affects us all. So men and women, you know, sometimes we got to check ourselves. And once again, this isn't me saying patriarchy is women's responsibility. Of course not. But it's had an effect on us all. And look what it's done to Amber Heard. I would have never thought she was this type of person. But I want to just put the blame. And that's the worst part. Because the worst part is I want to just be able to blame her. But in my head the entire time, I'm just like, damn, but we did that to you. In one sense, you know, and doesn't that suck? And then the cycle continues. We did that to you and you try to do that to someone else. And all of a sudden the cycle just continues. And that's what makes me the most upset. Because we have to end these cycles. We cannot continue like this. At some point, it's gonna fuck us up to a point where we fuck everything up, and then it's really over. People don't really realize that. So please check yourself and get right. Be your best self, not the bullshit that you see fed to you. And then, you know, no, honestly, that's it, man. I think that says it all. Like, really check yourself, because we all have a lot of checking to do. We could all be doing more. And I know we all are kind of in pain about it, disillusioned a bit, and feel like we can't affect change. But, and this is also me talking to myself as I talk to you, like, we have to keep pushing. We have to keep working towards something better. Mm-hmm. And that means we're going to have to step into the race, or whatever you want to call it, and actually do something.
Right.
Mitchell out.
I think you're 100% right. I feel like when I hear you talking about stepping up, like that's the big part, is that like even me, like I can complain till I'm blue in the face about, you know, what other people are doing. But like there is a part of me that, and there was a point where like I did give up doing certain things while I was there. You know what I mean?
I feel you.
And I couldn't say because it's this and that, but it's like, you know, I'm not running for office or whatever. And I don't know if I should have been doing that or not. I don't think so. I shouldn't be like the mayor of Ocala or whatever. But like, huh?
Why not?
Well, because the current, I'm not going to say
No, don't even. And so what I was doing there, it wasn't that I want you to do it. Just remember.
Remember why? What
no, just remember who you're capable of being. Not never let it.
It's not that I couldn't do the job. There's other reasons why.
No, I know. But like, I need to go because the way you said it, it's just like, I know you didn't mean it that way, but we also have to remember how we speak about ourselves sometimes.
Oh, really, Mitch? So like when I said earlier that I wanted to make $10 million, and that was when I had to watch was that one of those times, or was that? Because I remember somebody telling me, "Oh wow, that's a fucking lofty goal."
Didn't say it like that, and I was also just fucking around because I want you to succeed. I hope you hit the goal.
Okay. Anyways.
Oh yeah, somebody's salty. Jeez, bro, let it go, man.
Don't let Mitch fool y'all. He thought a good game, but he be hurting my feelings. Anyways,
all right. You'll be all right.
No, you know what we really have a problem with is it's all well and good to look deep in within yourself and be like, man, I'm really not doing shit. But like what we really have a problem with doing is reaching out to each other and like searching for a community and like taking care of that community.
It's a hard thing to do.
Taking care of each other.
Absolutely.
One of the things, like, my job does not pay anybody well enough. And that's the story with a lot of jobs. But like, it hurts me, especially at this job, because the people that work there are such good people. Like, and what I mean is like, when I say that, is that like, they're good people in that like, every one of them literally takes care of another person. Like they all take care of each other. Like nobody really said that you had to do it. And nobody says that you have to. It's just that they just do. Like I was given this account today that I know one of the guys there was like eyeballing for the longest time. Now I didn't ask for the account. My boss just put it in my like thing or whatever. Like, and like gave it to me, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like real nervous because like in any other place, you go and somebody finds out that like you've been doing it or whatever, and like jealousy sets in, like that need to like tear each other apart. And I'm like really afraid to tell this person, but like, you know, I've been friendly with this person. I said, hey, you know, this account got put into my thing, and it was like, and then like he was like, oh really? He's like, yeah. well, listen. Oh, this guy that like he's a part of the account, like he does this and he does that, and what you really want to do is this, and you want to do that, and you're like giving me all these like tips and shit about like how to run the account that he wants to fucking run, and I'm just like, what the fuck is that?
It be like that sometimes. Like
because like I totally expected him to be like, man, well, yeah, you know how that's how it goes, and but like all this person was concerned about was like helping me, and that's crazy to
bring
me.
Up
he didn't bring up that he wanted nothing, just
like this is what you should do,
and like that's is man. Like. That's it is, bro.
That's real love. Like, not to make it like weird, but that's love.
It's
like,
crazy shit. I've never worked at a place like this before, and so it's like, but that's also like a sense of community that like, it's like the purest form, because like a lot of people when they talk about community, they mean like, hey, you do this for the good of community and it affects you too. But I can't even say that in good conscience that that's a person that's thinking about how me succeeding in this case helps them, when that's some shit that they felt like they would be successful in doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
I told you that's love, bro. I didn't like, bro, I get it. That's crazy.
I think that's what's missing from a lot of our talks about community, is that aspect of like taking care of people, love, like you say, like just this idea that you don't need to get something out of it, that you should just do the right thing. Or that really like lifting somebody up is just the right thing to do.
It's always the right thing to do.
It's the weirdest thing for me to experience, because I don't come from environments like that. I come from environments where it's like, when they say competitive, you're fighting over dirt. And people are like, no, this is my dirt. Like, it's like,
I know.
Like, it's like
crab mentality, crazy. Bro. Crab mentality. It's literally what it is.
It's like worm mentality. It's like watching a worm strangle another one, like it's for the dirt that's in the, he's like, and like,
we got to get out of that.
And so this is what I'm thinking about, when we're talking about this different types of shit. And it's just like, I complain to I'm blue in the face, but we need to figure out how we become a community. We need to figure out how do we take care of each other, because at the end of the day, all these Republican type laws and stuff is how do we not take care of each other? How do we look at certain people and say, these are the people that we want to be left behind. These are the people that we don't want participating in our society. These are the people that we feel like are less than, and because they're less than, we exclude them. Like, these are the people that we feel like whose lives are less than. So this is what we believe should happen to them, or what we should allow to happen to them. And without a sense of community, without a sense of community, you cannot protect the women in your community. You cannot protect the black people in your community. You cannot protect the brown people in your community, the trans people in your community, the gay people in your community. You can't protect anybody, poor, whatever. You can't protect anybody in your community. And all the learning and all the moralizing that you can do, and all the book reading and all the, this isn't right and that's not right and they did this and they did that, it's not going to amount to anything if you don't love the people that are around you, if you don't love the people in your community, if you don't take care of them. It doesn't matter what the fuck you believe or what you think or what your morals or your values or whatever is. If you're just not taking care of those people, if you can't start there, you will never be at the place that you think you should be, and you'll never be strong enough to fight against the forces that hate your community, that hate you, that hate the people who look like or don't look like you.
Yeah.
And that's just the bottom line. That's just where I'm going to end it, because until we start figuring out how we're going to take care of each other, we have no right to be like, oh, well, these anti-woke laws or whatever. It's like these anti-trans laws. Do you take care of trans people in your community? What the fuck do you care about what an anti-trans law is then? Is your community safe for trans people? What the fuck do you care about? bathroom laws and all the other nastiness that happens to trans people on a daily. Even if you didn't have any trans people, could they come into town and be treated like good, like you were the Good Samaritan? Like, come on, be honest with yourself. Be honest with what community you actually have and what community you've built and what part you've taken in building that community, even if that part is none. That's where I want to end. If you like the show, please share the show with your friends. You don't even have to share it on social media, but that also helps. Like the show wherever you see it. Subscribe to the show. Definitely subscribe to the show and leave reviews about the show wherever you can. I hate doing this part, but it's necessary. Follow us. I just hate self-promotion. I hate self-promotion. Okay. Yeah.
Do it. Do it now.
Follow us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the places. Just follow us. Look for us at the Milk and Toast Podcast. You know where to find us, so just go and look. It's the name is right there in the title. You know what you're clicking on.
Use your hate. Use it. Sorry.
Thank you for that. Anyways, listen. Go ahead. Say bye to the people, Mitch.
Goodbye.
Anyways, thank you for listening. Have a good night. Have a good morning. Have a good wherever or drive to work or from. Wherever you're listening to the show, just have a good one. I'm your host, Logan. And this is the Milk and Toast Podcast. See you.
Episode 48.
Yes, episode 48. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.